My family called me heartless for refusing to cancel my anniversary trip to Babysit, then showed up with a $1,380 babysitter's bill, so I tore it up and cut them off for good.
Hey Hedge.
I'm Nina, 32F, and I've always been the responsible one. I might not be the oldest, Tara's 35, but I've got a solid job and a nice apartment, and somehow, I always seem to end up putting everyone else's needs ahead of mine. At least, that's how it feels when someone asks me for help. My husband and I were really excited about our 10th anniversary trip. We spent almost a year planning, saving up, booking everything early, and even made sure it fell during a quiet time at work, so I wouldn't have to worry about emails while relaxing by the pool. We were set to spend a week in Costa Rica, just the two of us, no responsibilities, no phones, no family drama. But then, 2 weeks before our trip, I got a group call from my mom, dad, and sister. "Sweetheart," my mom said in that tone that makes it clear she'd already decided what she wanted. "Tara and James scored a last-minute trip to Napa, and it's all covered. What an opportunity. But it overlaps with your plans." I had a bad feeling about where this was heading. "Tara needs someone to watch the kids," Dad added, as if it was just a coincidence. "You work from home and don't have kids, so it would really help the family if you could just push your trip back a bit." I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Push my anniversary trip?" Tara jumped in, sweet-talking me. "Come on, Nina. It's tough for us to get a break. Just 3 kids, you know their routines. Plus, remember how we let you stay with us during the holidays." I calmly replied, "No, we're not canceling. We've planned this for a year." There was silence, and then the guilt trip began. "You're being heartless. Your sister's mental health is at stake. You wouldn't understand. You're not a mother. You've changed since you got married. It's always you, Mimi. Family comes first, Nina." They were demanding, not asking. When I stood my ground, Tara accused me of punishing her for actually having a family. My mom cried, and Dad called me cold. Tara even posted a vague status on Facebook saying, "Some people only care about themselves, even when kids are involved." I switched off my phone and went on the trip. Costa Rica was paradise. When I got back, they were still fuming. They'd hired a professional nanny, which Tara complained ruined the whole retreat because the sitter didn't actually care for the kids and charged a ridiculous fee. I didn't ask for receipts and didn't respond. They went quiet for a couple of months until last week when all 3 of them showed up at my apartment waving a printed invoice. "Mom," the designated spokesperson said, "you're the reason we had to hire her." I couldn't help but laugh. That's when I said something that left them speechless, and I meant every word. Standing in the doorway, still holding a grocery bag, I looked at the 3 people I used to call family. My mom was definitely in full-on martyr mode, arms crossed tight over her cardigan. Dad wore that signature disappointed frown he always had when I didn't do what he wanted. Tara was clutching that babysitter invoice like it was some sort of legal document. It amounted to $1,380, covering 5 days of professional childcare while they enjoyed their wine in Napa. "You're the reason we had to get outside help," Tara shot back. "You knew we were relying on you, and you didn't even try to find a middle ground." I blinked, caught off guard. Compromise? I wasn't even part of this discussion. They laid out their wishes, I said no. That's not compromise, that's coercion. Mom jumped in, the ever-present peacemaker, pushing her emotional buttons. You knew Tara was overwhelmed. She's handling 3 kids, a marriage, and work. It was just one trip. And you chose to go on vacation instead of being there for family. That's when it really clicked for me. This wasn't about the money. It was all about control. I set my groceries down, leaned against the doorframe, and calmly said, "You don't owe me anything. I've never asked for a single penny. I've never needed you to watch my pets, help with bills, or plan my wedding. You don't owe me anything." They exchanged puzzled glances. I continued, "But I don't owe you either. I'm not your backup parent, your emotional support, or your stand-in nanny. And I'm definitely not your wallet." Tara's jaw dropped. Dad muttered something about how I wasn't raised to be this cruel. And then I hit them with it. "You call me selfish, but all I've ever done is set boundaries. Once I stopped being convenient for you, I became heartless. You want to hand me a babysitting bill?
Fine.
Here's mine. Every time I drove 4 hours for your emergencies, every meal I brought for the holidays, and every time I sent cash for the nieces and nephews without a thank you. You want to play that game? Let's go. Silence filled the room. Even Tara, who usually had some petty remark, just stared. I picked up the babysitter invoice, glanced at it, and said, "Tell her thanks for doing what I wasn't obligated to do. And next time, try calling someone you actually respect." Then I ripped the paper in half, handed it back to Tara, and slowly closed the door. Inside, my heart raced, but it wasn't guilt, it was relief. I hadn't lost my temper. I just drew a line, and they weren't ready for that. A few hours later, I got a text from Mom. "We didn't mean to upset you. You're just not acting like family lately." I didn't respond. Instead, I poured a glass of wine, sat on the couch with my husband, and said, "I think I'm finally free." Little did I know, the fallout was only starting. For a few days after the invoice incident, things were quiet. No calls, no visits. I thought maybe they were getting over it. But in this family, peace usually just means the calm before the storm. That Friday night, I got a message from my cousin Lena. We weren't close, but she had always been nice to me. Her message was simple. "Hey, I think you should see this." Attached was a screenshot of a group chat called Real Family Only. And guess what? I wasn't in it. There were days of messages from my mom, dad, Tara, my aunt, and a couple of distant cousins. They weren't just venting, they were bashing me. My mom wrote, "She's become bitter. I don't even recognize her." Tara jumped in, saying, "She's acting like she's above us now just because she has no kids and money to waste." Dad added, "We shouldn't rely on her anymore. She's made it clear she's not one of us." And then the kicker from my own sister. "She's going to die alone, and when that happens, I'm not going to her funeral." Selfish people deserve to rot in their own loneliness. I sat there frozen, not even angry, just done. I showed my husband the screenshots. After a moment of silence, he asked calmly, "So, are you still planning to pay for your parents' health insurance next year?" That hit me. I had been covering their premiums for years, quietly and automatically, because that's what family does. So that night, I made some calls, canceled their policy renewal, and told the insurance rep to remove my card from their account. I set reminders to cancel other auto payments, like Mom's phone plan and the car maintenance fund I'd set up for Dad. I even axed the Netflix account they were still using under my name, everything. But I wasn't finished. The next morning, I replied to Lena's message, thanking her and saying, "Let them keep their real family only chat. I'll focus on my real peace." Then I posted a simple message on my social media. If being selfish means not financing people who despise me, then I'll embrace it. Just a reminder, boundaries aren't cruelty. Entitlement isn't love. Silence isn't guilt. I'm no longer the family's backup option. I didn't tag anyone, and I didn't need to. By the end of the day, I had 4 missed calls from Mom, 2 angry texts from Tara, and 1 voicemail from Dad saying I was destroying the family out of spite. But here's the thing, I didn't destroy the family. They just never thought I'd stop cleaning up their messes. And soon, the biggest mess yet would knock on my door. 2 weeks went by. 2 weeks of silence, not the peaceful kind, but the kind that buzzes underneath, ready to explode. My mom stopped posting her usual morning affirmations. Tara's Facebook was strangely quiet. Even Dad hadn't shared his political rants. I suspected they were plotting another family intervention or some guilt trip. I was wrong because when the knock came, it wasn't soft. It was urgent and panicked. I opened the door to find Tara standing there, arms crossed, jaw clenched. Mom and Dad were sitting in their car, not even bothering to get out. Tara wasted no time. "Okay, you've made your point. You're mad. We were harsh, but this is getting ridiculous. The sitter agency just called. We owe $900 in late fees and penalties because Mom thought you'd changed your mind and we're covering it." I raised an eyebrow. "So, your plan was to gaslight me into paying it anyway?" She stepped inside uninvited, holding up her phone with the unpaid invoice on display. "I'm not playing games, Nina. It's time for you to stop punishing the whole family for one misunderstanding. Just pay it. You owe us that much after what you caused. I locked eyes with Dad. You cut me out, mocked me behind my back, and laughed about me dying alone. You disowned me in a group chat, and now you want my help. She rolled her eyes, saying, "It was venting. People say things when they're frustrated. Get over it." I took a deep breath and calmly said, "You wanted to be without me? Then live without me. No more bills, no more favors, no more safety nets. You wanted me out of the family tree? Then stop climbing my branches every time your life goes sideways." Tara started to stutter. "You don't understand. Mom and Dad are struggling. They're behind on their internet and car payments. They said you'd take care of it like always." I shook my head. They've had over 30 years to be independent adults. I gave them a free ride for the last decade. I'm done supporting those who use love as a weapon. She tried to guilt me again, saying, "But you've always been the strong one, the stable one. If you just—" I cut her off. "That's not a compliment. It's manipulation." Just then, my husband walked in from the kitchen, calm and steady, standing behind me. Tara's confidence faded as she glanced back and forth between us. She turned to leave, muttering, "You'll regret this when you're old and alone." I just smiled sadly and replied, "I'd rather be alone with peace than around people who only come around when they need something." As she walked away, I caught a glimpse of my mom peeking out from the car window. Neither of us waved. There was no need to. That night, I muted our old family group chat and blocked the emergency number they all shared. My cousin Lena texted me saying, "That took guts. I'm proud of you." I didn't cry or second-guess my decision. For the first time in months, I slept soundly, free from the dread, guilt, and that constant feeling of obligation. When I woke up, I began to imagine a life that truly felt like mine. As for the fallout, they never really apologized. Eventually, people started to realize that I wasn't the go-to for cash anymore. Some relatives reached out. Some were genuinely concerned, while others were just being nosy. A few months later, my mom shot me a birthday text saying, "Hope you're well." I didn't reply because it hit me. Family isn't just about those who take from you. It's really about those who respect your boundaries when you say no.